Welcome to the Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy, and this is where characters gather. Okay, so as you have gathered from the title on the thumbnail, this is my July and August pile of possibilities, and a little life update. So let's do the life update first because it impacts the pile. I'm a little burned out. Focus is elsewhere, and I need to take a wee step back. I'm not going to stop posting. I'm probably only going to post one video a week, at least for the next month, probably through the end of August. I enjoy Booktube. I enjoy interacting with all of you, but there's some other things that need my attention right now, and I can't ignore those things to focus on Booktube. You know, social media is not everything, and so taking a small step back. I'm still gonna run book club every month. That isn't going to change. I'm still reading Catholic fiction. I'm still trying to participate in all the things, but maybe not to the extent that I have been. I need to focus elsewhere for at least the next month and a half. So let's talk about where that is going to be. I have been strongly encouraged by my husband, a couple of people who have read it, to in essence suck it up, buttercup, and finish the steps required to, get my book ready to go on Kindle Unlimited. So that is what I'm going to be doing this summer. It's written, editing is begun, but it takes a lot more than just writing and editing. There's cover design, there's all the steps to get it onto Kindle Unlimited. There's making sure that the quality of what I publish meets the standards that I hold other authors to. And so that requires brain power, and said brain power can't be reading big old chunky books and doing all the things it needs to do to, put out a quality book. So I'm going to be stepping back a little bit. I will still be here. You can still contact me and all the stuff. Just because I'm publishing a book, or at least thinking about publishing the book, taking all the steps, does not mean I'm stopping Booktube. I think this entire division of authors can't read, review, and offer their opinion on other authors' works is nonsense. And I think that there is constructive criticism. I think if you're an author and you can't handle criticism, what exactly are you doing? I think authors that don't share their opinions and what they read are actually missing something important. So I am not changing. I'm not bowing to the pressure, and that's fine. So I have been ignoring gardening, and I need to get that back under control. And professional life for Dave has been a little crazy of late. and that requires some attention. So, there's just a lot going on. So, while I am scaling back, I'm not disappearing. I'm just, taking care of my own mental health so that I can come back and get back into the swing of things as soon as life calms down just a little bit. So I hope you stick around. I hope you understand, and I could use your prayers, as could Dave. And, life is lifing, as Chrissy would say. So, what am I currently reading and listening to? And they're pretty much all the same books moving forward. So I am currently listening to 2 books. The first would be The Berlin Game by Len Deighton. This is the first book in the Bernard Sansom series, I believe. Sorry, Fireball. Fireball. No. This is a Cold War thriller, and it is in the 70s, and it is the height of the Cold War, and I am absolutely loving it. It is part of the Read My Life challenge for me, and it is a very intellectual, slow-moving thriller, but it's one of those that isn't action-based, it's a thought-based thriller, and I'm here for it. And the second book I'm reading is also for the Read My Life challenge. That is The Bastard by John Jakes. This is the first book in the Kent Family Chronicles series. It is the first book of 8. They are incredibly hard to find in physical. When you do, they are only available in mass market paperback or hardback, both of which tend to be very expensive, and I don't recommend them in mass market. They are in excess of 800 pages apiece. So I'm spending Audible credits to slowly buy the series. This book starts off in France, it moves to England, and eventually this book will move to the colonies. I am about halfway through, and I think it's superb. Will it be for everybody? No, but it is just a delight, and it is definitely written from the male perspective, and there is it's not as flowery descriptive. It's much more clinical writing, but emotionally clinical writing, for lack of a better way to describe it. And I am so here for that. I am really not in the mood for romances right now. Every romance I have picked up recently has been just a dud. If there's even a hint, it's just like, I can't. So this is very much suiting my mood. Okay, that is what I'm currently listening to. So what is currently in process? First up would be Taliesin by Stephen R. Lawhead. Unsurprisingly, I haven't made a lot of progress, but I am loving this. This should be finished by the end of August without any problem. And that leads us to Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I am loving this, but at the same time, Tolstoy has always a very large slate of characters, and it requires mental capacity to keep them all straight and figure out what's, going on with each character's timeline at the time you pick it up. And so this will be a much easier read when I've backed off everything a little bit. So, and the same can be said for Gone with the Wind. Have I picked either Anna Karenina or Gone with the Wind up since I filmed my mid-June wrap-up? I have not. Have I tried? Yes. Do I currently have the brain capacity for either one of them? I do not. And that has to change. And that's part of why I'm taking a step back until the end of August. So, okay, there's more. Next up would be The Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. This is an emotional gut punch, and you can only read so much at a time. And again, I need the headspace to be able to sit down and read this. I'm enjoying it, but it is an emotional gut punch, and this one is by far the closest to being finished, so it will probably be finished first. And that leads us to Shadow and Claw by Gene Wolfe. This is a bind-up of the first 2 books of the Book of the New Sun. I'm only trying to get the first one done before the end of August, and that would be The Shadow of the Torturer. I'm really enjoying this. This is Catholic sci-fi fantasy, or it's written by a Catholic. It is sci-fi fantasy, and I've heard there's some very strong Catholic themes in here, so I'm very interested. His writing is very good, but again, his writing is very esoterical, and you need to be able to think to sit down and read this. What I have read, I've enjoyed immensely, but again, brain power is required. Okay, last book I currently have started and in process is my buddy read with Lindsay. And she is officially ahead of me right now. It won't take long for me to catch up, so I'm not overly concerned. That is A Distant Mirror by Barbara Tuchman. This is the nonfiction. It's nonfiction. It is the calamitous 14th century. I am enjoying this immensely. I enjoy her writing style. And it is, it doesn't take a lot of brain power for me because I'm familiar with the time period, but at the same time, it does take brain power. So again, it's one of those where, you know, I need to be mentally present to read it and not feeling guilty because I'm picking up a book, which is very much been the case, especially in the last week and a half. So, okay, that's everything in process. So, up next would be everything I plan to read that isn't book club related and isn't just a impulse fluff pickup read. So first up, we're going to talk about all the stuff that's probably not getting finished before the end of June. And I'm just carrying it forward because I do want to read these. They are appropriate for the summer. And so first up would be A Marked Man by Barbara Hamilton. This is the second book in the Abigail Adams Cozy Mystery Trilogy. I really enjoyed the first. Abigail Adams is one of my favorite political figures in history, and I will have that completed by the beginning of July. There's no doubt about that. I have yet to start Confessions by St. Augustine. I am not putting a timetable completion for this for me because this is one of those I need to, you know, read and reflect upon, but it will be done by the end of the year for sure. And who knows, I may, you know, pick it up and just find it so, you know, easy and not to read that I, you know, end up reading it much faster, but I will at least start it here shortly. Okay, next up would be Simply South of Simple, but slightly south of Simple by Christy Woodson Harvey. This is the first book in the Peachtree Bluff series. This one should not be a problem for me to sit down and finish. I'm looking forward to it. It comes in at under 400 pages, and it's not tiny print by any stretch of the imagination, so this shouldn't be a problem for me to finish. I am very eager to read this, so that one is for sure. Also for sure, and this is a buddy read with Taylor over at Tales and Treats with Tay. That is To Crown with Liberty by Karen Yulo. This is Catholic fiction. I've read this description recently. I've wanted to read this since I bought it last year, so it is time to read it. We are going to read it in July together. Chapters are short from flipping through, and it comes in at just over 300 pages. I'm very much looking forward to this. This is one of those that has a, much smaller print than the previous book. And last up, it's either this one or Father Elijah, which I didn't carry out. This is going to be a buddy read with Lauren over at Cohen Cottage. I will link her Instagram account down below. That is Sophia House by Michael O'Brien. This is Catholic contemporary dystopian end times fiction, and I know I just read the back of this for my third quarter Catholic genre fiction recommendation, so I will link that down below. And this is just shy of 500 pages, and I have heard that this is one of those ones where you need to think to read it, so now would be a very good time for me to weave that into the reading process. Okay, so that is the July and August plans as of the 19th of June. And obviously the end of June as well. Editing is going well. I've gotten 15-20 pages, red line today. And I will get probably another 30 or 40 done today. And then I will need a break. If you remember my roadmap from Bookmas of 2024, I had writing and, getting my book published on that roadmap. And then I threw the roadmap out. And I'm not sad that it's back. So, wish me luck. I could use a prayer or three. And I appreciate all of you that stick around. I promise there will be at least a weekly video. This will come out tomorrow on the 20th. The book club announcement for July's book will be up Saturday morning. So you have until dinner time tomorrow to go vote. Highly encourage you to do so. I look forward to your comments down below. I look forward to you joining us on Discord. All the information is, like always, linked in my description box. And I appreciate your prayers. I appreciate your support. And I'm not going, radio silent. So if you need me, send me a message on Instagram and I will check. I promise. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time at the Protagonist Pub.